Back now on Triad Today, and I'd like to spend the next few minutes talking about something very serious. It's painful for some folks, and it works out better for others, and that's the subject of alimony. To help us through this is an expert in the field. Erica Jackson is an attorney with Fradin, Attorneys at Law. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Give me a quick definition. So I think everybody thinks they know what alimony is. Give me a 10-second definition. What is alimony?
So alimony is an amount of money that one spouse could be ordered to pay the other for their support and maintenance after the parties have separated.
Now, what does a court have to determine? What does a court look at in order to determine an award of alimony?
The court will generally have to find that one spouse has been the supporting spouse during the marriage, the other was a dependent spouse, so essentially dependent on that spouse for their finances. And the court will look at various aspects of their lives, including the incomes of both of the parties, their reasonable expenses, the duration of the marriage, and things like that when determining.
Yeah, we didn't rehearse this, but I'm just curious, what if both spouses work, both make equal amounts of money? Is there never alimony in those situations?
Typically, no. A court would then could not find that one spouse would be considered supporting and the other dependent.
Okay. Now, how is it, you don't have to go into all the detail because it would go right over my head, but how is it basically calculated? How is alimony calculated?
So we don't have a calculator in North Carolina, but like I said, the court will look at the reasonable expenses that each parties have every month, how much they're both bringing in, and if there's a disparity there, the education of each spouse, the age of the spouses, and length of marriage.
So I guess you're saying too that the court has some discretion in trying to look at these different factors. There's not a set formula.
Exactly. It's a way of trying to balance out everybody's finances.
What about marital misconduct? We're still sort of coming out of a political season where some of the politicians have gotten in trouble, so to speak. What about marital misconduct? What effect does that have on alimony?
If a court finds that the dependent spouse has committed any marital misconduct, that can be a complete bar for an alimony claim, so they wouldn't be entitled to alimony.
Wow.
If the supporting spouse has been the one that's committed marital misconduct, then the court would order alimony. If both parties have committed it, then at that point it's at the court's discretion whether or not to make it.
What a weird marriage that would be if both are cheating on each other at the same time and they both want alimony.
Yes.
They'd have to really call you at that point, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Is alimony tax deductible for the person paying it?
It used to be, and then when the tax reform of 2017 happened, that deduction went away. So starting January of 2019, it's no longer deductible for the supporting spouse.
Let me reverse the question then, and maybe it's affected by the same law. You can help me with that. Is alimony taxable on the person who receives it?
Again, it used to be, and then now it no longer is.
So it's no longer income?
Correct.
Wow.
It's tax-free.
Okay. Is it usually paid monthly? Is alimony paid monthly? Is it paid weekly? Is it paid twice a year? Is there a typical formula for that?
Most of the time it's monthly or weekly, some kind of installment, but sometimes the court or parties will see fit to agree to just a lump sum so that you can be done and over with it.
Right. Now, other than the party receiving alimony passing away, does alimony ever end? Is there a term limit to it?
Typically, there's a term that's set, and that would be a terminating factor, but it could also terminate if the spouse receiving support remarries, or even if they cohabitate with a significant other.
Let me get this straight. So if the person receiving alimony decides to live with someone or marry someone, that can then negate the amount that he or she is getting?
Correct. It could terminate it at that point.
Could terminate. All right. Final thing, when should someone file for alimony?
They can file at any point after the parties separate, but they need to make sure to file before they are divorced, because at that point they'd be barred from filing a claim.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. So that's got to be done up front.
Yes.
All right. Up on screen, dumbatfradin.com is the general website, dumbatfradin.com, or you can call 887-978-3218 if you'd like to make an appointment. And Erica can sit down and help you with all this, but it's certainly helped me to understand it. Thanks for doing this.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll be right back.